Hey everyone, happy Monday morning. This is Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and I am here for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So, y'all know I like to just dive right in. So, the first thing I want to talk about this Monday morning is the H-1B cap season. It is in full swing. We are getting people ready to be registered into the H-1B lottery. We now have the lottery dates. And so I wanted to let y'all know what those dates are. They are March 1, beginning at noon Eastern Standard Time and ending March 17th at noon Eastern Standard Time. So, as you know, with anything electronic, anything digital, I do not recommend that you wait until the very last minute, the very last day. But you do have until March 17th at noon Eastern Standard Time. So, if you are in a different time zone, make sure that you are doing your time zone math accurately. But the H-1B lottery registration is open from March 1st at noon Eastern Standard Time through March 17th, noon at Eastern Standard Time. So, in order to register for the lottery, you will need a MyUSCIS account. So, make sure that you have set up your MyUSCIS account. If you haven't been into your MyUSCIS account since last year, this time for registration, just go back in, make sure that you remember the password and how to get in. So that you're not fumbling and trying to figure that out during the registration period. You want to have all that already figured out by then. So good luck to all of our H-1B entrants. The next thing I want to talk to y'all about, our USCIS has issued and is starting to issue a redesigned green card and also a redesigned employment authorization document. They have been redesigned for security reasons to prevent fraud, which is a great thing. Um, so they started sending those cards out to people January 30th of this year. If you have an old card, what is now considered an old card, and it is still valid, it is absolutely still valid. You can still use it. It is not a problem. So don't worry about that. If you get a green card or an EAD card now moving forward, and it is still the old design, that too is okay. The Immigration Service and their vendors still have card stock of what is now the old cards, and they're going to use all of that. So don't be alarmed if you get a card that looks just like your old one. That's totally fine. Don't be alarmed if you get a completely redesigned card. That is also fine. So just to let you know that the USCIS has redesigned the green cards and the EAD cards for us to make them more secure. The next thing is I want to remind y'all that premium processing expansion is still happening. And as of right now, there was a phase-in plan for multinational manager I-140s as well as national interest waiver I-140s. That phase-in plan is complete. All multinational manager and executive I-140s and all national interest waiver I-140s are now eligible for premium processing. So we're essentially fast tracking that part of your green card application. So the processing time for those premium processing applications is 45 days, and the government filing fee is currently $2,500. So again, multinational manager and executive, as well as national interest waiver I-140s are now eligible across the board for premium processing. The premium processing time frame for these two specific types of applications is 45 days, and the government filing fee is $2,500, so $2,500. If you have any questions about filing a green card based on the multinational manager and executive category or on the national interest waiver category, feel free to reach out to my office at 954-903-1337. We are more than happy to help with those applications. I wanted to remind you all that spouses of L's and E's have work authorization just because they are the spouses of L1s and Es, and they are in L2 or E2 spouse status. So if you are the dependent spouse in in L2 or E2 status, you have work authorization, what we call incident to status. So when you are stamped into the US, you must be stamped in as either an L2S, meaning spouse, or an E2S. So when you get those designations on your I-94, those tell future employers, they also tell the Immigration Service that you are the spouse and that you automatically have work authorization. So it is imperative that you go online once you enter and check your I-94 card designation, your code. It must say L2S or E2S. Those two designations mean that you are the spouse and that you automatically have work authorization. If for some reason those are incorrect, you can reach out to CBP and ask them to correct them. Some offices will, some offices won't. If you are concerned about work authorization showing that you have valid work authorization, you can also apply for an EAD card. That shouldn't be necessary, but the EAD card will be proof that you will have documentation that shows that you have work authorization. But if you have the L2 or the E2S in your passport, in your I-94, you do not need to then go ahead and get the EAD card as well. So hopefully we're not seeing as many incorrect stampings at the airport as we were when this was first changed. Because at that point we were seeing quite a few. But just in case you are, I wanted to remind y'all, and really also a reminder to employers that when you see an I-94 card that says L2S or E2S, that individual does indeed have work authorization. The next thing I wanted to talk about are the USCIS is returning to a prior policy of adjudicating H-4, those are dependents of H-1Bs, and L-2s, those are dependents of L-1As or L-1Bs. They are now processing the principal applicants and the dependent applicants' applications together. Finally, we are back to this. So we do not have dependents that are waiting so much longer in order to have their applications approved. So CIS is now processing H-1B and H-4 applications together, and they are processing L-1 and L-2 applications together. So that should make it much easier for principals and their dependents to have the exact same expiration date, have their documents all at one time. Now, this is only when the applications are filed together. So if they're filed separately, of course, they're going to be processed separately. But if you file them together, CIS has said they're going back to their initial policy and they're going to process them at the same time. So that, my friends, is all I have for us on this glorious Monday morning of Beyond the Soundbite. I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration. If you have any questions about your specific immigration issue, if you're an employer, you're looking to hire someone that's not a U.S. citizen, we are more than happy to help with that effort. So feel free to reach out to us. We can be reached at 954-903-1337. Have a great rest of your Monday and a